Bravery is built in those ordinary moments when you trust you can step into whatever comes next. And that changes everything. Because once you start building that kind of relationship with yourself, fear loses its grip. That's when you start responding to the doubt and telling yourself, I don't need all the answers to take the next step. That is what confident thinking sounds like. Welcome to The Change Effect, the podcast that helps you turn life transitions into powerful new beginnings. One story, one shift, one breakthrough at a time. I'm your host, Noelle Van, an author, leadership coach, and change strategist who spent years in corporate America helping innovators and leaders break through barriers to create success on their own terms. I now work with women to step into change to create a life they love. Whether you're putting yourself at the center of your own story, redefining success, or making a power pivot in your life, career, or business, you're in the right place. Each week, we dive into conversations with trailblazers, changemakers, and everyday women experiencing the ripple effects that come from overcoming the fear and doing it anyway, providing actionable steps, practical strategies, and a whole lot of fun along the way. So if you're ready to step up and become unstoppable, buckle up and let's get started. Today, I want to talk about something that gets used all the time, but I think we rarely stop to define it honestly. Fearlessness. It sounds powerful, doesn't it? Like the kind of thing we should all be reaching for. To be fearless, to be bold, to go for it, to stop holding back. But I think a lot of people hear that word and quietly assume it belongs to someone else. Someone more confident, more certain, more naturally brave, more willing to take risks, more sure of themselves. And I just don't think that's true. Because real fearlessness is not about having no fear. It's also not about waking up one day and suddenly feeling completely confident. That's not how it works. Fearlessness is not the absence of fear. It's the decision not to let fear make your decisions for you. And that's what I want to talk about today. Because I think a lot of us have misunderstood bravery. We think brave people are the ones who don't feel doubt, the ones who don't get nervous, the ones who aren't afraid of failing or being seen or getting it wrong. But in my experience, the bravest people are often the ones who feel all of those things and keep moving anyway. They don't wait for the fear to disappear. They stop treating fear like the authority. And that is such an important shift. Because so many of us are not actually stuck because we lack potential. We're stuck because we've gotten so used to interpreting fear as a stop sign. We feel discomfort and assume we shouldn't do the thing. We feel uncertainty and assume we're not ready. We feel self-doubt and assume someone else must be better positioned, more capable, or more meant for it than we are. And before we know it, we've built a whole pattern of hesitation around our lives. We overthink, we delay, we keep preparing. We tell ourselves we'll move once we feel more confident, more clear, and more ready. But the truth is, confidence usually does not come first. It comes after. It comes after you speak up, after you try, after you realize you can handle discomfort, after you stop abandoning yourself every time fear shows up. That's how confidence is built, not by waiting, by moving. And I think this matters because fear can be so sneaky. Fear can so often sound reasonable. It sounds like, I just need a little more time, or I want to make sure I can do this right, or I'm just not totally ready yet. And listen, those thoughts are totally human. We all have them. But those thoughts can also become a hiding place because sometimes what we call caution is actually self-protection. And that's the part I think we need to get honest about. If you want to create change in your life, if you want to do something meaningful, if you want to move toward the thing that keeps calling you, there comes a point where you have to stop asking fear for permission. You have to decide that discomfort is not the same thing as danger. And that's huge because discomfort is part of growth. It's part of honesty, of saying yes to a bigger life. Just so you know, fearless people feel discomfort all the time. They've just learned not to collapse because of it. They've learned how to stay with themselves through it. And to me, that's what courage is all about. Bravery is built in those ordinary moments when you trust you can step into whatever comes next. And that changes everything. Because once you start building that kind of relationship with yourself, fear loses its grip. That's when you start responding to the doubt and telling yourself, I don't need all the answers to take the next step. That is what confident thinking sounds like. So do you really want to be fearless? Practice being willing. Willing to be seen, to be a beginner, to do it imperfectly, to disappoint your old thought patterns, and trust yourself more than you fear. That's where things begin to change. So, wherever this finds you today, maybe the question is not, how do I become fearless? The question is, when will I stop letting fear decide who I want to become? I'm dropping a short fearless shift exercise in the show notes for those of you interested in diving deeper into this. That's it for now. Until next time. Thank you for listening to The Change Effect. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to subscribe and leave a review if you enjoyed this episode, so more women like you can find us and take their next step toward creating a life they love.